rapper, creative, artist, Christian, genius, president? Love him or hate him, there is an approximately 99.99% chance that you have heard the name Kanye West. He has been in the news recently for his July 4th announcement that he will be running for president of the United States. He has also been in the news for some less flattering reasons. Either way, there is a good chance that you have been paying attention to the controversial actions of Kanye as of late. The man is literally everywhere. Over the last couple of weeks, it has been hard to look at social media, print news outlets, or even late-night TV shows without hearing about Kanye's actions. So the question remains, why? Why do we pay attention to Kanye West? The answer probably seems obvious, but we need to go deeper. Is it possible that our attention is exactly what Kanye wants? I would argue that Kanye has mastered the art of getting the world to pay attention to him. Using this attention, Kanye can self-promote anything he chooses. Whether it be with his albums, his clothing lines, or his grand political ambitions, Kanye West has mastered the art of self-promotion. How, you ask? There are two main methods which form the basis of this video. Despite being theories at heart, these two methods are supported by a ton of evidence. When you explore the topic, it becomes clear that Kanye West has created a well-oiled self-promotion machine that has served as the basis for his business empire. This is going to be a wild ride. Before starting the video, please consider smashing the like button and subscribing. It truly helps out the channel. Enjoy the video. Perhaps the most important tool Kanye uses to promote his albums is controversy. Kanye West has internalized the classic adage that there is no such thing as bad publicity. If you have publicity, you have the attention of the public. And in the world of celebrity culture, the amount of attention you command directly affects your ability to make money. Or in the case of certain politicians, controversy and the attention that it brings can be used to generate both strong negative and positive feelings about a candidate. Yes, many people who pay attention to Kanye have negative feelings about him, but will that stop them from streaming his album on Spotify when it comes out? Possibly, but more likely they will listen once or twice in order to get in on the conversation surrounding the additional controversy that surfaces. But controversy is worth nothing if you don't have anything to promote. Hence why Kanye releases his albums, clothing, and other commercial ventures during periods of controversy. It is a genius move on Kanye's part to release his commercial projects during periods of controversy because the public's attention on him is at its highest. Again, Kanye has never admitted that he uses controversy to promote his albums, but there is evidence that supports this point. Let's take a look at his last album release. The The Life of Pablo drama starts with a Twitter feud that Kanye West got into with the rapper Wiz Khalifa on January 27, 2016. The feud started after Kanye West tweeted about naming his album Waves. Wiz Khalifa, who also happened to be dating West's ex, Amber Rose, took offense to the idea, saying that West was not giving proper credit to the incarcerated rapper Max B, who popularized the wave movement in rap. West then went on a Twitter tirade and eventually said that he owns Khalifa's child with Amber Rose because he dated her first, among other things. This was just the tip of the iceberg. A couple of weeks later, on February 9th, West shared the song Facts from his new album. One of the lyrics particularly rubbed Twitter the wrong way. It said, "Do anybody feel bad for Bill Cosby? Did he forget the names just like Steve Harvey?" West then went on to tweet that, and I quote, "Bill Cosby innocent," with like 9 or 10 explanation points. This angered fans, who took it as West defending Bill Cosby against a storm of sexual assault accusations. Then, 2 days later, on February 11th, Kanye West released Famous, with the now infamous lines,
"For all my South Side niggas that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have why I made that bitch famous."
As can probably be expected, Taylor Swift and her close friend Gigi Hadid took offense to these lyrics. West then tweeted that Swift okayed the lyrics, but then Swift denied ever doing so. Either way, 2 days later, The Life of Pablo released. The album got a ton of free album promotion due to the controversies going on at the time. To make things even more interesting, a string of controversies continued for nearly a year after The Life of Pablo dropped, continuing to provide The Life of Pablo with free album promotion. But then, something unexpected happened. Kanye went silent on social media, deleting both his Instagram and Twitter, but that's a topic for another video. The controversies surrounding The Life of Pablo, along with various other controversies surrounding past album releases, show a clear historical trend. It is reasonable to assume Kanye West systematically times controversial statements with the release of his commercial projects. Controversy is arguably the most important tool in Kanye's self-promotion arsenal, but it certainly isn't the end of the story. If history is any indication, Kanye West's recent controversies indicate that he is ready to drop an album. As a matter of fact, Kanye West recently announced his new album named Donda, before later delaying the release of the album. Which brings me to the second tactic used by Kanye West to promote his commercial projects. Kanye West is known for almost never releasing an album on time. Kanye West's last 3 album releases have been plagued by delays, and to make matters worse, in the past, Kanye has announced an album, goes through the normal routine of promoting this album, and then indefinitely suspends the album, depriving his fan base of Yandhi, TurboGrafx-16, Watch the Throne 2, you get the idea. And it's not just Kanye that does this. Artists like Playboi Carti, Travis Scott, and Lil Uzi Vert are notorious for delaying album releases. So the question remains, why? Why do artists delay album releases, making their fan base furious in the process? One reason? To build anticipation. When an artist delays an album, the audience will anticipate the release of the album even more. Most audience members associate delays with the artist taking more time to perfect an album, so they adjust their expectations accordingly. When done right, strategic album delays will create a wave of anticipation for upcoming projects. And when this anticipation is met with an amazing album, it can boost the album in question into commercial and critical success. Take, for example, Travis Scott's critically acclaimed Astroworld. Travis Scott built up the release of Astroworld for nearly 2 years before finally releasing the album. The album suffered from constant delays, with hip-hop heads eagerly anticipating the album's release. When the album finally released, it was critically acclaimed and launched Travis Scott into superstardom. But the effect would have been different if the album had flopped. Travis Scott's fans would wonder why it took Chance the Rapper, Travis Scott, so long to release a bad album. With album delays, in a best case scenario, entire online communities will be formed dedicated to releasing information about when an album is released. In a worst case scenario, you lose the love of your audience. Album delays also provide artists with free press coverage. Music blogs and other associated websites will typically make several articles surrounding the delay of a prominent album release. This increases the amount of attention on the album for when it is finally released. That being said, album delays have their downsides. If an album delay lasts too long, the artist risks alienating viewers. They may stop caring entirely. This usually isn't a problem for artists who have critically acclaimed discographies. With album relays, artists also risk pushing their audience too far. If Playboi Carti delayed the release of Whole Lotta Red for 20 years, his audience and their kids would probably still listen to it, but they wouldn't be happy that it took 20 years to drop. All things considered, artists like Kanye benefit from delaying album releases, but only up to a certain point. Kanye West is one of the most controversial figures of the modern era, but it is important to realize that some of this controversy comes down to self-promotion. When you keep this in mind, it can be easier to tolerate some of Kanye's more outrageous statements. I certainly don't agree with Kanye on a lot of positions he has taken, but at the same time, I respect his relentless artistic creativity and his incredible confidence in shaping the world to his liking. Regardless of your personal opinion on his actions, it is easy to argue that Kanye West is truly a modern-day self-promotion genius.